No, I hit the wrong button. I was trying to test my muting button, but I hit the wrong key, so I'm ready now.
There's a big red button for no and a mic for mute. All right,
Yeah.
Unoclay, you're telling a lie, right?
I just saw the red. I was like, look at that red button. Press it.
Can I have some meatballs and podcast some peas? God.
No.
I'm having chocolate.
I always have to listen to Matt's late night snacking lately. I had to listen to him down some Doritos the other night.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
look at you. I'm having some nice chocolate milk and 4 meatballs, and you're all like, man, what a jerk. He's eating.
After you did that, Mike, I just had to like rub it in Unoclay's face. I'm like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah, he's been like opening up our gaming sessions with like a bag of chips like every time. He's like, hey, want to play some Smash? Crunch.
I just got a bag today, so.
Nice.
All right, I'm all ready, Freddy.
Hello and welcome to the Just Another Castle podcast. I'm your host, Matt, and Eli's not going to be in here till later this week, but I do have Mike.
Hello there. Good evening.
Half-assing your intro. And we also have Unoclay.
What up, everybody?
Cool.
How undignified. What up? I mean, means a pocket, my man. A just monocle.
What is going on, people?
So I guess we'll start with what we've been playing this week. I haven't been playing a whole lot, but I finally got to a point in Pokemon Rumble World where I need to pay money, so I'm officially done that game now. So yeah,
How much do you have to pay to keep playing?
You basically have to buy diamonds to unlock worlds, and the more, like, the worlds are tiered, so one world might be $30, then it'll go up to 40, 50, 60, and then like up to 200. So I think it's like $1 something is 50 gems. I forget.
Okay.
Or no, I think it's like $2 is 200 gems or something like that. I don't know. The point was, I don't really feel like paying for it because it's not really worth the money anyway. I was just kind of playing around with it because it was free. Flea somehow is above me by like 5 to 10 levels or something. I think he must have paid some money or something.
He totally bought a level. Come on.
He had to.
Period.
He's like, I gotta get above Matt. But he fell for it, man. See, look what you did, Matt. You made him freaking buy a level. You made him get scared.
I didn't do nothing. He was playing before me, I think, because when I got in, I saw him above me anyway. That guy.
These are habits I'm glad I don't have. These pay-to-play Pokemon experiences I'm hearing you talk about once again. I'm like, thank God I never caught a Pikachu. Ever.
Now the next Pokemon is going to be catch, all right? You're going to throw a Pokeball, it's going to be like, do you want to pay $1 to make sure you get a perfect catch?
Gosh.
And then people are going to do it.
Brother.
Let's hope not.
Yeah, Nintendo's probably going to hear that and go, you know what? Yeah, I know.
Good idea. Nice.
But
yeah, they're literally the podcast like, nice, another good idea that we could capitalize on. These fools.
Well, I've got some good ideas for them. So I hope they're listening tonight because the theme that Matt we're going to be talking about later is like, hey, it's stuff I want them to do. So I hope they're listening. You know, they can screw with Pokemon. I don't care. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. I was going to say, I know this isn't probably the case for Unoclay. Mike, you have Mario Maker, right?
That I do.
Okay.
No, mine is Super Mario Maker. I'm
Yeah.
a jerk. Oh.
Have you been playing it all that much?
I played like 2 weeks ago. That's because I've been lazy.
Oh, okay.
And it had to do with what I've been playing this week, kind of thing, more than anything else.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't know if I want to keep it anymore. I'm kind of thinking about selling it if Yoshi's Woolly World comes on sale. Because, I don't know, I'm just not having a ton of fun with it. I honestly think I'd have more fun if I just bought Super Mario World. Because I'm liking that theme better than the other ones. Just
Right.
because I've seen the NES one so much, I never really got attached to new Super Mario Bros. 3 and Super Mario Bros. 3 and the new
I mean,
Super Mario series
Super
like I
Mario World
have,
is
so I could just replay
no,
them
no,
anyway. But
no, no. I kind of agree in the sense that like the game is like it's hard to continue on because I mean think about it. It's more of like I'm just playing and that's it. There's no sense of accomplishment there, even if
yeah,
you beat like. And that's one thing like that I like that Little Big Planet has over Super Mario Maker. Oh, I do. My fault. Well, yeah. One thing I was gonna say, I kind of like. I was cleaning out my plate. Come on, guys. All right, but is that there is a story mode at least? You know, like a whole platform level made by the developer. All they have is those sample 10, the 10 Mario thing, and like the first 20 of them are like jump over a Goomba.
yeah,
I'm like, okay, I could do that. And you're like, all right, cool. You unlock Mario's left shoe. I'm like, nice. Wait a minute, that's nothing.
yeah. I don't know. I haven't really gotten that attached to developer-made levels either. I've kind of forgot about them. Like literally, I forgot
I haven't
about them
developed
and
one.
just haven't bothered. But I don't know. They didn't seem all that interesting either because the levels are so short and they have to work with like a preset tool base. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I saw you were on there last night, and I was or maybe it was last night, and I was thinking, oh, I haven't seen you on there in a little bit or whatever. So,
Yeah, I
uh,
went to
you were trying it
well, I mean,
again.
like
get
Yoshi's
some
Woolly World.
amiibos.
I mean, it's like a full legit game, man. You know, it uses your Amiibo, so you don't feel like, oh, I haven't done anything. But I mean, to be honest with it, like I agree. I don't play it as much. I mean, I should. The only thing I really want to unlock is the costumes, but I have no sense of like, man, I need to beat this game. Like, I'd rather buy Captain Toad or Yoshi's Woolly World right now. You know, or Splatoon, so I can play with you guys. You guys play like every day, apparently.
You play a lot.
Yeah. It also doesn't help that it's technically something we've played before. Like these kind of Mario levels, it's just that's why everything else I guess feels more interesting because it's like it's new from the ground up kind of thing. But
Yeah.
I don't know, it's weird. Even the 100 Mario challenge or whatever, there's a limit to the amount of amiibo you can get per section. So last night I was doing some of the easy levels, which is the levels are easy and you only have to do 8 of them versus 16 because it's quicker to get costumes that way. And I beat one, and it's like, yeah, if you want to get more costumes, you have to do the harder like versions. I'm like, oh, well,
I
that's
couldn't
not
even
fun. It's gonna take so much longer now.
I couldn't even imagine doing just easy levels because they're too easy. Like
They
the
are,
mediums are the only ones that are like kind of the medium is the right temperature, just like the Three Little Bears. Like it's like you go the hard level, it's like it's way too hard. You're just gonna be like angry.
yeah,
But and the easy is just geez, it's boring. It's literally like press right and you finish the level.
or just nothing.
Yeah,
Even the medium ones, you can still get like the don't touch the controller, press right
yeah.
or
Yeah, they need to
music or
fix the
whatnot.
don't touch thing, but I don't know how they would. They would have to like ask people to register every level, which it sounds like the
It,
update they mentioned might have something like that, like a categorization or whatever, but we'll
Well,
see.
yeah, it's mainly for searching. There's no way to put like a tag to a level. Like if they had a bunch of pre-made tags and then said, "Oh, you can tag these levels for
Well,
people to
how
go
would
through
we
it." But
search? How would we search if there aren't going to be tags? That's what I'm.
I don't know. I haven't actually tried the website app thing
Is
because
that
to
even
me,
out yet?
I think so. I think it was out with the other update. I haven't bothered because I figured if I have to go on some website just so I could have a basic search feature, then
Yeah,
I'm just not going to bother with it.
yeah, it does seem a
Because
little.
it seems like a patchwork, like, oh, well, we didn't do this properly first time, go somewhere else to fix it. It's like, well, what's the point? I might as well just go on YouTube and see, like, best levels or something. I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah, like I said before, I think it's just the fact that it's just a creation game, and
Yeah.
like I love the Super Mario World style too. The Super Mario World's awesome. I mean, I wish there was more, but I mean, there's not too much to it. It's more like, oh, I enjoy a Mario game. Like maybe if you put like a level a day, it's worth it. But at the same time, it's like, I don't really want to because when you play. You want to beat it so you get some costumes. I mean, I'll play expert. I'll play like 5 straight levels. I'll be like, all right, like I'd be down. Like, I freaking love the challenge. So every time if I don't win it right away, I'm like, oh, I gotta beat this level just to prove that, yeah, I'm not an asshole. Then, then I'll get some stupid level that's impossible, and I'm like, yeah, this ain't fun, dude. And, like, why did you set it up where it's like not even frame perfect jump to get me over there? Like, bleh. So then I'm like, oh, I'll skip that, and then I'm like, holy shit, 16 levels is way too long, for some of these expert levels. So it's just the game dragged in itself because it relies solely on creation, and also I don't make any levels.
Yeah, I think I looked it up while we're talking. It's not out yet. The searchable app that's coming in December. I thought it wasn't. I knew it was like something they kind of told us is coming soon, but not yet. So that's coming up. Just to correct the record there.
Yeah. No, thanks. Yeah, I think it's just kind of a hard sell because it is solely based on the community and what they output. So if they output garbage, then people are going to lose interest.
I mean,
if it's like Little Big Planet where there's plenty of people who put a lot of work into it, like then that kind of thing can live on for a while. So
there's also other modes though in Little Big Planet. Like you can play like soccer or basketball or something.
Yeah, that too. You can basically make any kind of game, but the point was like the people who make Little Big Planet levels are there to like make good Little Big Planet levels because the custom or the creation tools are kind of complex, whereas Mario, because it's so easy, like someone's gonna throw something together and then it's just kind of the systems just kind of get riddled with mediocre levels.
I think the solution to all this, yes, is the workaround that you're saying is a little bit annoying. You got to go outside the system, but like using stuff like Reddit or IGN boards and stuff like that has been my solution because I've had a more positive experience than you guys are sounding like you had. Although I do agree that I tend to look at it as not a game that I'm gonna play a ton all at once because I played numerous hours. I don't know how many when it launched, and now I do not play it as much, but I do find it to be a game I'm going back to, and I'm sort of thinking, especially if they release maybe other modes or other items, at some point it'll rejuvenate the game. So I hear you. I see where you're at, Nat, with it. If you're not playing it and, funds are limited, selling it might be the move for you because I know that's definitely a factor for you. For me, it's like I'm going to sit on it and look at it as like, hey man, this game could be really fun in like 6 months to play again when I'm really bored. I mean, like I agreed totally that you said like maybe the Super Mario World one is the best. I feel the same. And I don't get tired of it. If I go in there and just start building in that one, I have fun all over again. And then in other modes as well, still. So I see both sides of what you guys are saying, but I just wish they would have a solution addressing kind of what Mike was saying. That I wish they would put some way that there would be like, it's sort of in the direction of what Mike was saying, I guess. Like, I wish there was more of a quest-based mode to play it, where people could chain levels together, and I could play like 4 levels in a row, maybe, by the same person, and then I would be like, or make a playlist even, or whatever, just something like that,
Yeah.
So.
Or even if normal mode wasn't 16 levels, because even though World and Mario isn't that long, it just seems a bit too drawn out. Where you get to the end and you're like, okay, I've kind of had enough. I think part of the problem is also how I play. So I haven't really bothered using the like scrolling through any of the lists. Like I did once in a while, but I mostly just go to 100 Mario Challenge and then go to like normal, and then if something is fine, I'll go through it. If it's not, I'll skip it. So.
Interesting. Yes, I play it differently. I just follow people that what I do is every couple of days I'll search for someone new either on a message board or I'll look at, what's something I didn't know you could do until recently? You can look at your friends and that you've already followed and see who they follow or what they've starred, I should say.
Cool.
And then you can get recommendations from that. Like, so I look at what my associates are starring and I kind of, chain together like new people to follow and things like that, Or I just go to the like top starred players and I never take the top people. I scroll way down to like the 90s or the 80s. And then like you won't get as many automatic levels has been my experience. You'll just get like quality levels. They're just not the top, number 1 starred people on the overall worldwide lists. But I hear you. I definitely agree with some of the like feelings you're having toward it. It's not a bad game. It's just like kind of a different kind of an experience. Yeah. So
I think part of it is also that I'm lazy. this is how I kind of see it as
That's going to get you
Netflix.
in all kinds of parts of that.
I kind of see it as Netflix, where it's like I could either spend more time searching or I just jump into something and then see how it is. Because
Yeah,
with
that's
Netflix, I could be there looking for something for like an hour and a half, and then it's like I could have watched a movie if I just chose something. And then that's
yeah.
how I kind of feel about this, where it's like I can either try to look for a half decent level, or I can just say randomize the levels for me, and then I just go through it or
Well, maybe you're
skip
suggesting
it.
what the fix would be then, because with Netflix, that's kind of part of it. You do have to sit and curate your Netflix, like occasionally, you have to sit there and find new stuff that you want to watch and put it in your queue.
Hmm.
But then maybe a queue would solve at least something of what you're saying, like that you would have an easier way to find stuff and then queue a bunch of things up, and then it's only like once in a while that you have to go hunting. You know what I mean? But I
Yeah.
hear you.
Yeah,
I hear you.
I have no idea how they would do that though,
Right.
because there's no tags or anything to say like you like this or you like that.
Right.
I don't think there's a way to differentiate, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think I've said enough about that. Mike, why don't we see what you've been playing?
Alright, did I say I beat Persona? Yeah, I totally beat that like 2 weeks ago or last
Yeah.
week. But I actually went back to my PS3 because so I accomplished nothing by playing JRPGs, and I was like, hey, I leveled up twice, and that took like 3 days and like 2 hours a pop, because I'm trying to get my platinums of Disgaea and One Piece. So I've kind of just been playing that and go, man, I gotta finish these before I can even start playing like 5 other games. So I've been doing that, and then I wrote up on my list like of games to play and stuff. So definitely Yoshi's Woolly World's probably the next game, because I'm like, if I get that, I'm gonna go all in. If not, maybe Kanto, because it'll be quick and cheap. But I'm waiting for some Black Friday deals. Other than that, man, like, it's cool to go back to games I haven't played, but I had no idea how to play anymore. I was like, yo, where am I? What am I
Yeah.
doing? And I was like, oh yeah, that's what I was doing. And I don't remember how I was doing it super fast or anything. So yeah, it's like it's been so long. I'm looking at the date. It was like May, like 2014, and I'm like, oh, that was a few months ago. Wait a minute. All right, I had to think it over. I was like, wait a minute, man. This is 2015. That wasn't a few months ago. Yeah, so it's been that kind of like ordeal. But I'm kind of waiting for that cloud guy to drop. So
Yeah, that'll be
maybe
cool.
maybe it'll make me play more. I totally lost my Mario Kart 8, and I'm not sad about it.
You've lost it or you threw it out somewhere.
You know,
Like I lost
I
it out
remember,
the window.
yeah, I lost it in some sort of like cylinder outside with some smelly stuff. That's usually like picked up on Tuesdays and Fridays, and I'm like, oh well, And some guy's like, why are you losing that game? It's like the best Mario Kart since '64. And I go, see, that's exactly why. Right? And then, and then he just took it away. And I lived a better life by playing Mario Kart 7 or a week.
So let me get this straight. You threw your copy of Mario Kart 8 out the window. I was trying to follow all that. Is that
No,
No,
man,
no, I was just
no, I
making a
just
joke.
lost it. And yeah, I totally lost it. I just don't care, like, one bit at all. That's how much I hate that game. Like, I
wow?
would be upset.
I played it too much. I don't play it anymore. I just played it too much. So we had different experiences there, But I didn't play 7 either. So it was.
I was dumb. I bought the DLC, played it like the first pack I bought it, played it like twice, then I guess got distracted and then forgot about it, and then like the next DLC came out and I played it like 2 or 3 times and then kind of forgot about it, and I think Smash DLC came out and I basically shouldn't have bought it because I've pretty much ditched it. I will say about Mario Kart Wii, the one thing I miss is bikes could pop a wheelie and then you'd get a boost from it, and you can't do that in 8, and I hate
Right.
that.
Yeah.
So
Right.
cool.
Yeah. Like, why bring back bikes and get rid of the part that made it, like, OP and better, I mean,
Yeah.
it just, I just hate everything about it. This is not a good game. I mean, at least it's not Super Mario Kart AIs, where they're impossible and can only get specials anyway. It's like, oh, okay, they just roll over a customer. Oh, don't worry, it's specials that you can't use in the game, but they can do it at any time. Or if it's Mario and Luigi, they automatically get stars. And it's like, whoever programmed this game is an ass. But it's a good game. It's like the fourth best or third best. I enjoyed the shit out of it.
All right, so Unoclay, what have you been playing this week? besides the games I've played with you?
Yeah, well, I mean, since everyone listening doesn't know what we played, yeah, like I continue on my mediocre Smash ascendancy of sometimes getting some good ones off on you and other friends, and other times getting my face.
Are you saying you're getting off on me?
No, no, is that when I'm totally getting off on you? Wait, no, again, I said it the same way. When I'm winning some matches and losing some other matches. But yeah, having a good time with that.
You're already hiding it behind your wife anyway. You might as well just come out with it.
Yeah. I still want to get her on here. I'm gonna have her come in here and just say like one line sometime to you guys, like, "Oh, hey, dorks, what's up?" And then like, peace out. But she's always sleeping by the time we record this. Yeah, we were playing that. The thing of worth noting, other than games that are a year old, I think today Mike, am I right? Is today the anniversary? Or was yesterday the anniversary of Smash? Something like that?
Yeah, yesterday, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had one of those Facebook memory posts, and I was like, huh.
Aw. Yeah, so besides playing a game that's a year old, and I play almost every day because I adore it, the one thing worth telling people about I've been playing is the affordable Space Adventures DLC that came out this week for Wii U. That game I really liked. I might have been on here and mentioned it at one point when that game launched. I think that's a really clever game, and it's a really good use of the Wii U hardware because it's like a space adventure with like kind of how you say item management as part of the game, where you could play it 3 players, where one person kind of flies the ship, one person manages different aspects of the ship, like the heating core and like there's all kinds of different things you have to manage, like kind of your speed and your thrust and a lot of other things, like your landing gear. It's pretty complicated actually. And then and then another person can pilot, can control like other aspects of the ship. There's 3 ways basically they split up the controls for the game. So
Is it hard to play if you're playing it as one person?
No, not if you're a good gamer. I can see levels where you would be like needing a second. If you're a kid and you're not good at games, yeah, you'd want to play this like your dad, and it would actually be like, or your mom, obviously, but like it would be a good game for people like that, for a younger kid, where it's like, okay, well, you're going to control the headlamp of the spaceship and show us where we're going, and you're going to control this other thing, and I'm going to do the heavy lifting over here, because it's a lot of like, as the levels get really harder, you have to be very quick. You have to be juggling a lot of stuff. You have to be turning off the thrusters while you turn on the sensors and different stuff like that. Because otherwise, an enemy will pick you up. It's a little bit of a stealthy type game where you have to kind of sneak. It's not combat based at all. You don't really do much shooting of things. It's more puzzles. And it's a very good game. It's very stylized. It's a lonely Metroid almost experience where you're out in outer space. Not as haunting as Metroid, not as threatening, but you're out alone, lost in space, kind of trying to get home is sort of the plot. But they released some new DLC for free for people who own the game already this week, and they build it as 5 of the hardest. I think it's 5 of the hardest levels that you'll ever play, and they certainly deliver. I 100% of the game original content, which is fairly decent sized campaign, probably 5+ hours for a smaller like eShop game. I forget what the price was, but maybe $15. But it's probably a 5 to 8 hour experience in my opinion, which was great. And then the new stuff, I'm not sure how long it takes, but it is the hardest puzzles. It's like the stuff they probably left on the cutting room floor originally, where you're just like, you better have finished the game because you're going to get pissed if you try these. It is. I spent over an hour on one level where the level is not huge, but it's super clever in a way that you're just going to get killed a lot because you have to manage so many things all at once. In fact, the one level I did coincidentally say to my wife the other night, I said, I think I need your help, because I think I literally need her to teach her how to pilot the spaceship while I like juggle 5 other things for this one section, because I cannot finish it. I cannot do it. I've tried again and again. It's like you need 3 hands. You're just like, I can't press all the buttons all at once. I can't do this. So
that's
it's a
what
great
a palm is for.
That's so cool, though. Damn.
Yeah, it's a great game. It's fun. It's worth a look if you haven't played it. But like I said, it's probably not something co-op unless you're the kind of person who doesn't mind kind of playing the quote. It's sexist to say the girlfriend mode. I know that's not a popular way to put it anymore, but like, if you're an adult gamer, you're probably not going to find it as fun just to be the person who pilots a spaceship by yourself while the other guy gets all the fun buttons and all the fun, tech. You know, it's definitely within your abilities to do it all, because I finished it myself without ever asking someone for help originally. But that's out, and I think if you buy the game now, you just automatically, of course, get those levels with it. So it's still on the EU, on the Wii eShop for purchase. I think it's $15. So
Yes. Yeah, it looks cool. I haven't
yeah, it's a
really
neat game.
seen too much of the gameplay, but I remember seeing what it looks like, and it looks pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. I still have to play, what's that other game you recommended? It's like black and white and takes place in a cave or something.
Are you thinking of The Fall,
Oh
perhaps?
yeah,
It's not
that's
black and
what.
white, but it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, but that game's good.
yeah, I haven't.
I gotta look into that. I wonder when part 2 of that is coming out,
Huh.
because on Twitter the developer said 100% part 2 is coming to Wii U, and I was pumped about that because I really enjoyed that game. I thought it's not going to be everybody's game because it's pretty hard, but I enjoyed it a lot. It's kind of like a Metroid meets adventure game kind of thing, you know.
Cool.
So
Yeah, I forgot I had that until just now.
oh, you have it? Oh, you gotta
Yeah,
play
because
that.
I got it with like the Humble Bundle, and I have Moon Chronicles on the 3DS as well that I should try because that seems kind of
That
cool.
that game's terrible, but
Is it?
yeah, I thought so.
Oh, oh well, I'll still have to try it anyway. But it looks like someone joined the podcast. Eli, I want you to say hi and stuff.
Hi and stuff.
That's,
I'm
that's a
here.
poor intro for me.
I'm here. I'm alive and kicking.
Cool. So you said you played Pokemon Mystery Dungeon or
I
Super
did.
Mystery
Did I
Dungeon?
talk about Amiibo Festival last week?
Yeah, you told us the
About
score
how
and how
You
horrible
told
it
it
terrible
was
is.
it was?
good, right? You were like,
Oh, you loved it.
2.5.
Yeah, how I gave it the incredibly high score of 2.5. Actually, the highest game I've ever rated. But moving on to Super Mystery Dungeon, I played probably around 7-8 hours of the game so far. I only got it yesterday, and I think
Is this a review copy or did it actually come out?
it was a review copy, but like I am reviewing it, and it
Yeah.
came from Nintendo, but they did not send it out before the game came out. It was
Oh,
like,
okay.
so I didn't get a pre-launch.
Okay.
So I've been playing through that. I played all the Mystery Dungeon games, so I think this one's pretty good. The last one that came out, Gates to Infinity, was kind of disappointing. It was slow. Not all the Pokemon were there. The items was weak. The implementation. This new one seems fun. All the Pokemon are there. There's a good difficulty to it. Like a good roguelike should have. And it's kind of back to its roots. A lot of the stuff that was taken out in the last game are back. One of the cool things this time is there are connections with different Pokemon you can make. So, for example, if you connect with one Pokemon, that Pokemon will connect to 3 others. So the way you actually recruit Pokemon is by doing missions for them. And so if you want to get to a certain Pokemon, you'll have to do like a little path to get to them by recruiting other Pokemon. It's kind of interesting how they fit all this Pokemon into one large linked map. It's kind of hard to explain, but I think overall the game's pretty fun to play, and I think that people that are fans of the game will not be disappointed. Although it does take a little while to get into it. The tutorial's like 5 hours long.
Oh my gosh.
But after that, it gets pretty good.
So how does it work? Because I know it's a dungeon crawler, and the dungeons I think randomly generate, right? Or at least in this one.
Oh yeah. So the way it works is that you'll go into a dungeon, and this particular dungeon will have certain Pokemon in it. And you will usually try to rescue someone on a certain floor or just try to get through, and all the floors are randomly created, but the Pokemon on each floor are the same each time you go through it, and there will be special for example, you'll go through one time and you could see like a treasure room, but you'll need a red key to open up the door, so you'll need to find a red key and then come back a second time to open the door. I don't know, I haven't gone in depth enough to know how close it is to the first game, but in the first game, for example, you'll have random legendaries hiding out in random caves in certain floors. There are escort missions where you'll have to go through a hard cave escorting a really weak Pokemon, and you have to try to keep them alive. So yeah, it is a randomly generated dungeon crawler. If you die, you have to go back to the beginning. So there are like massive 99 floor dungeons, and you'll be on floor 74 and you'll die and you'll have to restart. But I think that's the charm of the game, and once you make it through it, there's a real sense of accomplishment.
So it's more about just trying to get through without dying than actually battling, because from gameplay I'm looking at, the battling seems more supplementary than complementary.
I mean, it's an aspect of the game. You have to strategize. If there's a hard Pokemon, you'll want your team to surround that one to make sure you can all attack at the same time.
Cool.
So there is an element of strategy there. There are also a lot of items you can use in battle that will make your job a little easier. Like if you throw a sleep seed at the opponent or enemy, they will fall asleep. It's good in that respect. But you can't get through without battling. So sure, it's not as in-depth and strategic as the main Pokemon games, but that's kind of not the point.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So
underrated. Let me just say, underrated Nintendo franchise.
Okay. Yeah, I've never really looked on it with excitement. I just kind of have seen it and I'm like, okay, that's a thing that exists. I'll just walk away from it. But I don't know, maybe there's something to it. I haven't really played many dungeon crawlers before, so who knows. So why don't we move on to Amiibo news. There's a couple of things. So the modern 8-bit Mario is a Walmart exclusive. Lucas is listed for January 22nd. The Chibi Robo standalone Amiibo is an Amazon exclusive, or you could just buy the game if you want it or not. And the Gold Mega Man Amiibo is North American exclusive, which I think is the first North American exclusive Amiibo. I'm not really sure of the reasoning for that, but
yeah, I was gonna say, why Mega Man? Like all characters, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. You would think a third party would want it everywhere, but
I think it's because they shipped a whole lot of extra Mega Man regular over here, and then they figured out if they paint them gold, they can finally sell them.
That'd be pretty funny and smart if they actually did that.
They're like, it's cheaper than shipping them back to Japan, so gold paint.
Hey, it's gonna work. But he's not like some of the other Mario characters, versions of Mario where it unlocks something different. It's the exact same as the regular Mega Man, so maybe that lends credence to your hypothesis.
Yeah, I can't say I don't get into any of these mods or any of these like alternate takes on them. Right now I'm not interested in stuff like that. So for me, I do get a little cynical about these special editions. I'm like, I'm not going to have 2 Mega Man statues. No way. Sorry. I already have 2. I already have.
Maybe you won't.
Oh no! How dare you say anything bad about Amiibo around Eli?
He's just trying to compensate for his hoarding.
My God, I am so terrified. At first it seemed manageable to get all these Amiibo, but I think I might be at the point where I've spent more than $1,000 on them now, which is, I'm a poor college student. I can't spend that sort of money.
Yeah.
I don't know. You don't sound that poor to me.
Do you need some help, bro? Do we need to get you some help? Is this a cry for help?
Amiibo Anonymous.
You're just gonna have to start selling off Amiibo like crack.
Have you dipped into like going to the plasma donation center yet? Because that's when you do have a problem, bro.
No, he checks there for Amiibos, obviously. Come on.
I'm scratching my arm.
Yeah.
Just walking down the street. Hey, anyone got an Amiibo?
You're in the bathroom on the toilet. You have like a box of them. You open them up. Hey, you want an Amiibo?
You got the Mega Yoshi Yarn Amiibo? Because that's probably the rarest, actually. The numbers, rarest of them all. And it's worth the most money out of every single one. So,
oh yeah, it's like $30 or something nuts.
Yeah, and then the retail value is minimum 80. Shoot. That's the resale now. Minimum 80, and I'm just like, ooh.
The funniest thing is, like, as soon as they announced those yarn ones, I knew I didn't have to worry about buying them because my dogs already look at the Amiibo, and if I know they would chew them up if I made too big a deal out of them, so I have to keep them out of their reach. And it's like if there was a yarn Yoshi, they'd be like, dog toy, chew time.
Yeah.
It would be gone, like not a joke. Like in a week, one of them would see it and be like, that's for me, Yeah,
I recently bought Mewtwo Amiibo, and I'm surprised it actually So I ordered it on Friday at midnight when it went live, because Canada was getting them later for some reason. And yeah, it came today, and I'm kind of surprised because I don't think Canada Post or really any mailing system delivers on the weekends. So I'm like, okay, I'll take it. This something seems off here, but whatever.
That's happened to me before, and someone explained it to me that a lot of those this is all I heard, at least down here in America, like Amazon and other retailers, they contract out with people other than the post office
Okay.
for like weekend deliveries. And it'll look like it's coming from, Amazon or whoever, or the post office, but actually it's like some third party, like little company that just has like a local delivery contract. Cause I had the same thing happen on a Sunday. You don't get mail in America on a Sunday, but I got a package. I'm like, how'd that happen? But
Yeah, I think I was thinking about that, like, is Amazon holding someone hostage and that's why they do it? Because I don't think other Canada Post packages usually ship on the weekends, but that's besides the point. There were a couple of things announced this week. Europe is getting Animal Crossing Wild World on the Virtual Console. Did you play Wild World, Eli?
A little bit. I didn't play it a ton because I got it a lot later than it initially came out. By that time, City Folk was already out, so I put a lot of time into City Folk.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I heard Wild World is like the pinnacle. I don't know how it stands to New Leaf or what people have said, but at least before New Leaf, people put that as the pinnacle Animal Crossing game.
It was like the first big multiplayer game for Nintendo.
Yeah.
So that's why it was really important, and it had voice chat, for heaven's sake, which
Did
is
it?
something It
I know
did.
City Folk did.
I'm pretty sure the DS version of Animal Crossing had.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because it does have a microphone on the DS, and you could buy like a microphone for it. So,
but the sound quality was amazing on that.
Oh yeah. And Puzzles and Dragons X was announced for the 3DS. It's using some other random characters. I think it's from like some other Japanese anime or something, or maybe it's just random whatever. Eli and Mike, I know did you guys buy the Mario version or you were interested? I don't really remember what happened there.
For what are we talking about?
The Puzzles and Dragons, there was the Super Mario Bros. Edition. Did you guys end up
Yeah,
buying
well, Puzzles and Dragons Z and Mario Edition were both in the same package, but yeah, I did buy it.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if anyone bought it or you guys were like, yeah, I'm interested, and then nothing happened.
Those are match 3 games or something like that. I never played them, obviously.
Yeah.
They're worth it. I heard they're popular in Japan, but what do you guys
It's a
play?
lot different than a regular standard match 3 game.
Yeah, there's some more strategy.
Yeah, because the way it'll work is that you'll move one icon from one side of the screen to the other, and while you move it, everything's swapping while you're moving it. It's kind of hard to explain. You kind of have to look at a video to see what I'm talking.
Did you ever play Meteos on DS?
No.
Because that sounds like what you're describing, and that's a really good game. So I'm interested. I'm wondering if it's similar because that was
so I'd look up a video, and so like it's really combo heavy. So you really got to think out your moves. So there's no time limit; it's a turn limit. So you have to think out your moves ahead of time so that you can plot it out in a way that you'll get a really high combo. And it's kind of one of those things where almost like rubbing your head or rubbing your stomach and whatever, rubbing your belly. Whatever it's called, but it's kind of one of those things where you really it's hard to think about what that one movement is going to have an effect on this placement, on this placement, on that placement.
Yeah, so. I think there's types involved too that you have to match with something else as well. So there's a demo of it on the eShop, so try it out. I think there's a normal and a hard version, or there's a boss at least, and I don't think I could beat the boss. So it's not just
it's a challenge
flat out
game.
easy. There's a challenge.
It's not
to
easy.
It. Yeah. So it's not just something you'll get off of like the App Store or something. There's some depth to it. Another thing, the white 3DS XL is coming next month for people who waited like 4 years for that to happen.
Wait, the white 3DS, the black and white one?
No, just the all white 3DS XL.
Not even new?
No.
Oh my god.
I'm not even sure if they did a new 3DS XL Lite or not. I know they had the Animal Crossing one. I think that was it for the new series. But yeah, if you want a 3DS XL and it's white, you can get one now. I would hold off on E3 and see what happens because you never know. But
The way you said it made it sound like a little lackluster. You're like, well, you can get it now.
yeah, it's out
I'm like,
stores now.
I don't get into all this color hunting for my systems. I could care less what the color of my system is. Like if if as long as it works, I'm kind of like, I mean, sure, if I have a choice, I'm gonna pick one. But
Come on,
really,
we're all a little system racist. You can be honest.
yeah, I would play red systems. I hate those red systems.
Well, the thing that happened to me was when I got a DS. I think it was a couple of years in. I was like, okay, cool. I have money for a DS. I'll buy one. And then like a month later, one came out with a different color and like a different game. I'm like, oh, now I got screwed over. Now the next time a DS, like whatever the next system is, I'm waiting. So I bought the original like whatever 3DS it was, the small one, like a blue one. I'm like, okay, they announced the XL. I'm not buying it until I get a color I want. Then I ended up waiting, and I got the Pikachu one, and I'm like, this is it. I'm good. I don't need anything else. This is my perfect one.
I don't see color, bro.
Well, I see Pikachu. Pikachu's awesome. So a couple of few other things. Europe is also getting Story of Seasons in January. It's the Harvest Moon like spiritual successor. I think it's by the original Harvest Moon devs, and then they broke off and made their own team or something like that.
Wait, which game?
Story of Seasons.
Yeah, no, so what happened is that Natsumi has the rights to Harvest Moon here in the US, and what happened is they said that they were no longer going to publish the Japanese Harvest Moon games, and they're going to go ahead and make their own. So the actual Harvest Moon games are now called Story of Seasons, published by Xseed, and then Natsume publishes its own Harvest Moon games. There's a new one coming out soonish. So
that's weird.
Sorry.
So I guess they have a different developer tackling the Harvest Moon series.
Yeah, it's a new developer, and Natsume's developing them directly because they have the name in America, and their games are terrible. They developed Story of Seasons and the new Harvest Moon game came out in the same time frame, and I forgot what it was called, but it got panned. Like the new Harvest Moon game is terrible reviews.
Well, I want to compliment you on the most efficient, newsiest bullet point of news I think I've ever heard on this podcast. Just there, Eli, that was excellent. It was like, here's the news. Period. Done.
Are you channeling your inner Flea?
Period.
Two other things. Nintendo UK is having a contest where you can win every Amiibo. You have to answer how many Amiibo there are, or how many Amiibo are compatible with Super Mario Maker.
Oh, come on.
Well, the thing is, does that count future Amiibo that have been announced, or just current ones out you can buy?
Have they heard of Google?
Yeah, I know, really.
It's like bar trivia, like when they have trivia games at the bar and they have to say out loud, you can't use your phone, everybody. This is a game.
Well, that's why the jelly bean thing works, because you can't Google how many jelly beans are in that jar. But you can Google how many Amiibo that work with this game are.
Well, do you guys remember the promotion that Nintendo of Canada did before the launch of Donkey Kong? They had like a crate of bananas, and they said, how many bananas are in this crate?
Oh yeah, that was awesome. I remember that. That was pretty cool.
But the last thing is Nintendo is going to open their own eBay store, which is really weird. They're going to have new and refurbished Nintendo hardware and games with free shipping. So
I don't like it. They're competing with me directly, so I don't like it.
You're like, I used to buy the games and sell them on eBay, and now they're just doing it directly. I hate them.
Yeah, it's something I should plug sometime. Like, I'll mention it here now and leave it go. I actually do sell a bunch of like kind of Nintendo related stuff on my eBay channel. If anyone wants to find out about it, you could post up on my IGN, but it's usually limited to stuff that's only for retro collectors. Like I sell a lot of like my old manuals, old boxes. I have a crate of old Super Nintendo boxes, for instance, that I got to photograph and put up on there because I'm not a completionist like that. I got to get the stuff out of my house. I don't have the room for it. So, but yeah, I saw that they put that up, and I was laughing to myself. It was great, more competition, you know.
Yeah. Well, they're not going to be selling anything retro on there anyway. It's just like new stuff.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is why they won't open their own online store for this stuff. You know, if you go online onto the Nintendo, like Nintendo Land, for example, their webpage, you can buy code for the downloadable version, or you can visit a retailer. There's no option to buy from their site, and I don't understand why they wouldn't do it, because they would cut out the middleman. They have to pay eBay 10%. Why would they do that? Doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know. I was going to say maybe because retailers would get kind of pissed off if they're selling it on their own store. But then again, wouldn't they be pissed off if Nintendo opens their own eBay store too? So I don't know how the thought process behind that. It's kind of weird.
The simple answer I would say would be that like they know eBay reaches besides Amazon, is probably the biggest retailer on the internet. So given how stretched thin their resources are, maybe they would someday down the road. But hey, this is an easy way to get something up quick, and reach millions and millions of people. That would be my thought. It's probably just a simple, hey, we could do this in like a day type of thing, you know what I mean, and get some money out of it, but who knows.
Well, no, I just realized they didn't go with Amazon, and it's probably because they had some like bad blood going on for so many years. So maybe they're like, fine, we're just going to go with eBay if you're going to be snooty.
Yeah, Amazon's notoriously bad for their fees because, like, I don't sell things on there partly, and I'm just some regular guy, you know what I mean? But I find their fee structure to be a little bit heavy, and eBay is a little bit easier to work with. So that, and we all know they've had some weird tiffs with Amazon in the past about some stuff, so it's probably related to something like that too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there was something. Wasn't there's something how Amazon took down Nintendo stuff for a while and then brought it back?
Yeah, I think it was hardware. So you couldn't buy any systems for a couple of years, and then like last year or so, like within the last year, they like reinstated it. They're just like, someone just reported like, hey, they're selling stuff now.
Amazon has a lot of like business relationship challenges, I've heard, but I don't really know a lot about it. But I've heard it that they're so big, they do kind of like set terms to their own advantage, and not everybody loves that, and that's not just limited to like, say Nintendo. I couldn't cite something specific, but I've heard it somewhere else. So could be something to do with that eBay is just like simpler and more straightforward in terms of the way the money breakdown goes.
Yeah. So one thing before we get on to some special stuff, EA isn't planning on making any more Wii U games, and basically their reason was there's not enough. There's not enough. There isn't a big enough market. Blah blah blah. It's expected. I mean, like they haven't really been producing anything after year 1, maybe 2 anyway, so it's not really a surprise. But confirmation is still confirmation.
What's an EA game? Like that's my reaction. I'm like, really? They made games for the system?
But one thing I thought was
I just remember them being like, nah, F that Wii U. But we like Nintendo, and I'm like, no, you don't. Yeah, like,
unprecedented.
Unprecedented partnership. But one thing I thought was interesting was they said, so we'll build software for various ones, as in systems, but we'll really wait and see how big the market is going to be. So I think they might be hinting at like the NX, and they might like do the same thing, put 1 or 2 things at launch, and then just wait until it gets big enough for them to put development into. But let's move on from that. I didn't realize this week. I learned this week that Amiibo had its first 1-year anniversary. So hooray for commercialism, consumerism, and hard plastic toys.
Hooray! My bank account loves you, Amiibo.
Yeah. But I kind of wanted to reflect on
My parents think I'm
Amiibo.
psychotic because of them. So.
It's all the toys' fault.
Tell your parents to shut up. Clay's wife thinks he's nuts. So,
like,
I mean, it's your parents. I'm married, bro.
It's like, shut up, Mom. I'm making college money with this. But yeah, I kind of want to reflect on it. So, I don't know if any of you guys bought any Amiibo this week, because I think Canada was getting some late, so maybe you guys got them early. But what have you liked about Amiibo so far, and what would you want to see going forward?
I want them to not exist anymore.
Well, that's not gonna happen.
I mean, the problem is I've already gone so far down the rabbit hole. I probably own like 80 of them by now.
Oh my god.
I don't know. Probably like 80 of them by now. I've gone so far down the rabbit hole that at this point, every time they release something, it's like, well, I already got 80 of them. I want to buy one more.
Oh
And
gosh.
like, I'm at the point where there's no turning back.
You'll be at the point where there's no room left in your
Okay,
house.
the second they release Pokemon Amiibo, though, that's when I drop it. That's like when I'm like, all right, I'm done. This is over.
The irony being that you would want them the most, I assume.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that would be a problem. Aren't there hundreds and hundreds of Pokemans?
Yeah,
Only
there's
like
700.
721.
Is there, look, this is a genuine question, and everyone out there is going to like facepalm at my Pokemon ignorance. Is there like a core group that they could just do? Like, is there a set of a reasonable number, like 50?
I mean,
I'd say for Pokken Tournament, they could probably just make whatever the roster is into Amiibo. Like
oh my
how that
god,
is
that's
in
probably
Summer.
the only reason why they're bringing that game over here. Oh no!
Like that makes yeah, because they're definitely not going to make 700 actual Amiibo. They'll just select like the most popular ones, and it makes sense for Pokken Tournament for them to just make that into a line.
I'm not gonna buy a whole nother roster of fighters. I'm sorry.
Well,
So-
that was yeah.
So
go on.
there isn't like, and this is a genuine question.
Mhm.
There isn't like an original group
There's
of,
an
like,
original.
or something.
There's an original 151. So
But there's not like within that 151 like
No.
some small, because to me it's like the only Pokemon I know quite literally are any that are in Smash Brothers. You know, so for me it's like I always assumed maybe they were the core of Pokemon or something like that.
No.
You know? Okay.
the first 150 are the core. Other than that, you can't really break it down farther. There's 3 starters. There are 5 legendaries. But
Well, I can learn about all this sometime and get my addiction going. I was just curious because I always thought, well, the natural thing they would do is like pick, you know, because to the outsider me, you know, I'm like, oh, I guess Pikachu's the leader, you know, and
Yeah,
then Mewtwo's the bad guy or something. I don't know. I just pick up these stories. Like I know, I just pick up
Dude,
stories.
it's the Pokemon 2000 movie. That's totally how it went. Alright? You old man.
There's definitely
Mewtwo's actually a good guy, okay? He turns out to be a good guy in the end.
He just looks angry, so I figured he's a bad guy.
He's definitely like pissed off for 90% of the movie. There are like fan favorite.
How cool he looks with his robot stuff from Giovanni. That's
Oh,
all that
I wish
matters.
that was in Smash Brothers.
Oh, man, I
Pokemon
know, right?
Company. But there is like a set of fan favorite Pokemon that are like the main favorites, like Charizard and Mewtwo and Pikachu and whatnot. But there isn't really a way to narrow it down because they could always choose like there's always another Pokemon game where a different Pokemon is part of like that main cast. So there's no like real way to go about it. It's just I guess whatever the game is, they'll make.
Gotcha. Sorry to derail it with Pokemon.
No, that's
like
cool.
Q&A. I just don't really know. And then I always think about these Amiibo things, and I'm like, yeah, you know. And Eli says he's not going to get them, but I hear you guys talk about Pokemon every week. I'm sorry, but you're going to get them. Like I can just tell. That's it, bro.
Don't talk to me that way. I don't know. No, I mean, well, I don't know. I've drawn lines. Like when they announced the Super Mario series, I told myself, I knew I'd get them. It's not like I said I wouldn't, and then I got them. But when Animal Crossing, when they said they'd release the cards, I told myself I wouldn't get those, and I haven't. So I think if I set limits for myself, I won't cross those.
Yeah.
Although to be fair, before Amiibos first came out, I said that they were the most stupid thing ever, and I wouldn't buy any, and that really hasn't worked.
I do remember that. But Eli, you're obviously getting 5 gold Mega Man, right? I mean,
Yeah, I did pre-order.
Oh my gosh. Of course
I
you did.
pre-ordered both Twilight Princess and Mega Man for the Amiibo.
Oh man, of course you did. Is anyone
I
else?
should be ashamed of myself. I know.
Anyone else
he did it all
interested
under
in?
different accounts, so he's all good, because, you know, that beats the system. So,
What'd you say?
You did it all under different emails and accounts, you know, because you beat
Oh,
the
yeah.
system. Yeah.
Well, what I'll probably end up doing is I'll probably end up selling Mega Man Collection back and just keeping the Amiibo. And then for the other one, what's the other one?
Twilight Princess.
For Twilight Princess, I'll actually keep it because I need to play through that game, and I'll do so. It's okay.
Cool. So is there anything anyone's looking forward to in the future about Amiibo, whether it's the use or the designs or sets or anything like that?
Me, I have an answer to that I really, it hit me when I was thinking about this question earlier that you'd sent out. What I would really like, and I don't think this is that far-fetched, and maybe they already do this with Skylanders and stuff like that. I don't really follow that stuff. But what I was thinking was, I really like the Amiibo. A lot of people don't get what they're for, and the biggest complaint is always like, well, what do they do? And then you're trying to justify it, and sometimes they do stuff, sometimes they don't really, let's admit it, But I was thinking, hey, if I want to collect these, why don't they just release the option to, instead of going to the eShop and paying the money there for like classic games? I'm thinking smaller games, more indie games, stuff that's like a $15 game, the same price point as Amiibo, in other words. Especially for stuff, retro stuff. I would love it to get some Amiibo for retro games where it's like basically like a token that I go to the eShop, scan the Amiibo, and I get the game. And then the trophy's kind of a nice, add-on. Maybe you pay a few bucks more since you're getting a game and an Amiibo. But, I was thinking like, every time something that they're going to work on for the eShop that comes out, that's like a bigger, more notable release, from their classic catalog. Hey, it would give me an excuse to go buy another Amiibo. And then my answer would be, well, I get a game with it, because that occurred to me because I hadn't, I might have mentioned before, I hadn't known that when you buy the Splatoon Amiibos, that you get the extra 8-bit games for the menu when you're waiting in the lobby. You get new 8-bit games with each Amiibo, and I was like, this is awesome. Like, this is what I kind of want. Was what there's actual content associated with this. So that for me, I'm a big retro collector. I don't buy a lot of them on the eShop, I'll admit, because I prefer to play them on the original system. So I'm more prone to buying an SNES cartridge, even though it's going to cost me $20, than I am to download it. But hey, that would be enough to push someone like me. If you're going to release like Maniac Mansion for the NES on the eShop and you release a Dr. Fred Amiibo or something with it, I'm buying it. But yeah. I'm in my own niche there, but it would definitely be something that appeals to me. It was just my one thought.
Yeah,
so.
Cool. Yeah, they do kind of have something like that. It's called Amiibo Tap. So basically, any Amiibo you have, you open this app and you tap your Amiibo on screen, and it'll give you a random game, but it's a demo, and it's like cut levels that you can play.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool because you can like tap the Amiibo on it to skip the level or something. So I was being terrible, so I like loaded one up and I tried like a level and I died, so I just tapped it again to like skip to the next level and kept like doing that and just went through all the different levels. I think they give you like 8 to 12 different sections, but
I hate those demo levels, and I forgot that app exists. I think I deleted it as soon as I had it. I was like, yuck, this is stupid. But yeah, so it proves they've thought of the idea. I think the pricing would be tough because they want to make the money on the Amiibo, and they don't want to give you a game for free with it. You know what I mean? Like, so maybe it would have to be that those Amiibo are slightly more, that it's like, okay, well, this is an 18, I don't know what the price point is. It would depend on the games, but, yeah, I did forget that existed. So, at least it's on their radar perhaps. So maybe someday I'll get something like that.
Yeah.
So.
I think it's already selling, so they're probably not going to bother bundling it with anything.
Right.
My idea, which wasn't really original, is basically make like a Skylanders game where all the characters or all the Amiibo you have can be used in one game. And part of my reason for this, besides giving it a more interesting use than just you unlocked a costume or you unlocked money in a game and it's little to no value to it, is if you have this giant game, when you, I don't know, scan like Mewtwo or something on it and you're like, wow, I can play Mewtwo in this like third person action game, like that's pretty cool. Like a playable character is more interesting. But also because Nintendo doesn't really have any big Amiibo sets that they have left. So Smash Brothers was the first one, and that's kind of what got people into the craze, because there's this long set that's going on for like over a year now. And now that it's winding down, they don't really have anything else to keep that hype kind of going. They had the Mario Party line, which was a couple of characters, but that's done. So all we've been seeing is just one and done Amiibo, like the Chibi Robo one or the Twilight Princess one, and I don't think it's enough to keep people's interest forever. So besides making different lines like an NES and SNES sprite line, if you do have this big game, it's like, oh, okay, so it doesn't matter what amiibo I collect, I can unlock a cool playable character, and then you wouldn't really have to focus on what amiibo sets you're buying. You could be like, oh, I can just make my own custom set and then have them playable.
I think you're going to get something like that on NX. Let's be honest.
I'd hope so. I mean, like, they definitely know it's their big thing, so...
What was the name of that game that was in Smash Brawl, the Subspace Emissary? Maybe something like that, where it was like, the levels are kind of generically designed to fit a range of characters or something like that. Yeah, I think that's reasonable to expect something like that coming eventually.
Yeah, and I think they could use it as advertising too. So rather than just here's like a generic Yoshi level, it's like here's the Yoshi Woolly World level, and then like they link to like here's screenshots of the game or something, and here's like where you can buy it, just to kind of give you a flavor of that world and interested in their other games as well, kind of thing. Like, oh, look, this thing exists, maybe you should buy that. So I don't know, I think that'd be a cool thing to do, because they don't really, unless they start making up lines like here's the Metroid line with 3 characters and they're all forms of Samus, or like an official Zelda line or something. I don't think there's much left they can pull from unless it's from a specific game. So, but the other thing I wanted to talk about was besides Amiibo getting their anniversary, the Super Nintendo had their anniversary this week. So the Super Nintendo turned 25 years old, which is insane. Because I'm almost that old. I'm almost as old as the Super Nintendo.
It's no better if you're way older than it, dude. Let me tell you from the other side. You're like, that's insane for a different reason.
Yeah. No, yours probably just coincides with the NES, that's all.
No, older.
The Atari Jaguar.
Yeah, older.
Commodore 64. I don't really know when
my birthday coincides with the invention of the internet. So, yeah.
But, I don't know, I kind of think, like, what cool... Since the SNES turned 25, I was thinking, what SNES games would you suggest people to play on Virtual Console, or maybe a game that isn't on Virtual Console that should be?
I know what Mike's going to pick. If I was Johnny Carson, I could have the envelope and put it to my forehead here. I want to hear what Mike says, though, because I want to see if I'm right.
I know what it's going to be.
Oh man, there's a lot of pressure on me. I mean,
come on, man.
I can't ever decide between Super Mario World or Donkey Kong Country 2. Dude.
Okay, there it is. Yeah, there it is. He's going to say Donkey Kong Country 2. Like, that was my answer, 100%.
You have to say all things. You can't just say Donkey Kong Country 2. It's Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest, because the play on words is fantastic. Okay? That's how good the game is. The title is so good that, it's just like, oh, wow. Already you've had, like, the best game on the Super Nintendo, with, like, the best soundtrack. But, I mean, the thing is, like, what's so good about the Super Nintendo also, like, I mean, honestly, it's hard for me to play Super Nintendo games without playing it on my Super Nintendo, just because, like, that controller is perfect, because that D-pad is so good. And the YAB X, I mean, X is useless, because every game is YAB programmed. But, like, you can't go wrong with any platforming game on there, man. Like, people hate Mega Man X 1 through 3, alright, even though X 2 is better. All the Donkey Kong Country, Super Mario All-Star, Super Mario World, which is probably the best. I mean, like, all those games, that's more than enough. And I didn't even mention, like, Turtles in Time 4, or freaking Goof Troop the game, or freaking Super Mario Kart. Or even Bubsy, because I mean,
Is Bubsy? I genuinely got to ask. I hear people make Bubsy jokes all the time, and I don't know what it is. And I lived through the Super. Is it the worst?
Terrible.
It's basically a mascot platformer.
You want me to look? Hold on. Like, give me 2 seconds. I'll pull out the worst game of all time because I'm already here near my Super Nintendo. So we're gonna pull it out.
Why is it that this is the second Nintendo podcast I've been on today, and the second time I've heard about Bubsy?
Today?
I heard that was a multi-platform game, but the thing is, though, like, I only know it from Super Nintendo, and then the sequel is on Super Nintendo. That's all I know it from. So, there's also classics like MK2, Street Fighter you can play on there, Mario Paint, which is fantastic. Oh, here's a contention for the worst game of all time.
But Mike,
Oh, you go on.
one thing I think he was asking. Let me correct you if I'm wrong. Like Matt, you were asking about games that are on the virtual console,
Yeah,
or ones you'd like to see.
Yeah,
Because
either
like
or.
Mario Paint isn't,
Either or.
but-
So whether it's on the eShop or maybe it should be on the eShop. Because most of those
Is Mario
games you
Paint on?
listed are on. What?
Is Mario Paint on the eShop?
I
No,
don't
that's
think
why-
so, because
that's
it
why I
used
said-
like a
It's
cursor.
such a game to, like, recreate or even just put on there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah,
don't
they
need
could.
the pad. You have the game pad. But before I forget, all right, there's 3 games that should never be on the virtual console. It's Pac-Man 2, all right, The New Adventures of Pac-Man, The Jungle Book, all right, and here it is, the worst game of all time. Okay, I will defend that this is the worst game ever made. Super Widget, all right.
What the heck? I've
Super
never heard of
Widget.
it. Super
Don't
Widget.
even. Don't.
I have to.
Okay.
It doesn't sound like a game I'd
What
want to
the
play.
heck? This weird purple
Sword
alien dude.
platform. So not only is it like slow, not fun, kind of hard. So about 4 hours it took me to beat like 8 levels, and I was like, yo, I got to the end of the game. I beat this. Like I beat a boss. I was so happy, man. Like a little tear in my eye. I shot off fireworks. Confetti came down. And I was only like world 1 of like 10, dude. After I beat it, I was like,
Oh my
bro,
gosh.
4 hours, and there's no save thing, so it's like. Yeah, but no, I mean, if they ever, there's Yoshi Island already on it. Like, for me, maybe like, I don't know, something like odd, like Darius Twin would be cool, or Lion King, even though that game's hard and fun, or Disney's Aladdin. Like,
Yeah,
those are
none of the Disney
underrated
games.
Yeah, all the Disney games on Super Nintendo were really good. I know they're pretty hard to get licensing for that.
Yeah, maybe they'll remake them like DuckTales, because I think they said they were interested in making like the Lion King.
Oh, that game, I don't think it'll translate well. It's hard. That is not an easy game, man. The Star Wars games are actually really good. All the Super Star Wars ones.
Really?
Yeah, and I think those are on the virtual console on the Wii. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So you could play those.
I know they released the Super Nintendo on the PS4, the first one though, which is kind of odd. But I know there's a few Batman games on the Super Nintendo. I had like 1 or 2.
So Mike, what you're basically saying is people should just get a Super Nintendo, play Super Nintendo games, done. Because you named 50 games.
Yeah. Like, don't be a fool and play, buy them on the virtual console. Be a man, go out there, buy Super Nintendo, and get some cartridges, get a better controller, call up the controller that comes with the system, and just play it like that. Like, you guys are, they're missing out. Like, even on shitty Dennis the Menace, the game I own, alright? That's probably better than half the crap that comes out, you know? No, it's not, but, I own a lot of janky games as well. Here's one of the worst games I own. Captain America and the Avengers. It's an arcade-style beat-em-up, and oh my god, it is terrible, alright? And all they do is repeat one-liners every time you hit, and every time they get hit, it's hilarious. So it's like they die, dude. So it'll just loop over everything. So it's one of the, I think the system has so much variety in it. But is Super Mario RPG and Legend of Seven Stars on the virtual console?
Yeah, it is. It's
7 coin. Well, see, I don't know. They put out most of the good games.
Yeah, I know. I was looking on there today. I'm like, oh, they have basically everything. I keep forgetting that I bought a Super Nintendo a year or 2 back with a couple of games, and then Donkey Kong Country was too hard, so I kind of cut that out. And then I had Killer Instinct, and then I think I do actually have Super Mario World, but I didn't pay much attention to it because I'm like, yeah, I beat it before. And I'm talking about Mario Maker, and I'm like, yeah, I'd rather play Super Mario World.
Yeah, it's just ironic, but a lot of the hidden gems that made Super Nintendo really good, like Super Bomberman series, is something they should look into. I think that's the pinnacle of Bomberman.
Yeah,
and there's 5 of them. Even you go, Clay.
I was gonna say I wanted to get Mega Man X2 on the actual cartridge of it, but it's $100 or $150. I'm like, I'm not doing that. But they actually released on the eShop, so I can actually play it now at some point. At least.
that one's great. It's a bit short, a bit harder, and you get the short. You get the secret move, but
yeah.
That's my favorite Super Nintendo one. I still think X5 is the best, but it's stuff like that, you know. But Matt, you could just get the X collection for the GameCube, right?
Oh, I think that's like $100 or something too, something.
Oh,
Like
is it? Okay, I thought it'd be like cheap.
I forget. I remember going to at least one game store, and I think I saw the X Legend or Legacy Collection, whatever it was, and it was pretty pricey. I think it was at least $60 or more. And then like Fire Emblem, whatever the GameCube one was, not Radiant Dawn, something else was like 100 something bucks. I'm like, holy shoot, that's a bit steep.
That's the first Ike game. But all the Fire Emblems were low print back then, man. Even
Yeah.
the GBA ones are pretty print.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. But yeah, Unoclay, why don't you tell us your...
Yeah, no problem. Here's the funny part. You asked the question earlier, and I never used my Wii emulator. I was a big supporter of the Wii. It was great in its time for me. I enjoyed it heavily. I probably owned or played almost every game on the Wii core library that was of any significance. And then I don't touch it anymore because, Wii is just better, and I enjoy it, even if it doesn't have as big a library maybe in some ways, but I enjoy it a lot more. First of all, I forgot that you can emulate the Wii from my Wii U, so I had to figure that out. I was like, oh, look at that. There's that emulator. I forgot about that.
It doesn't work, though. I'm a sensor. Like, I click it and I go, oh, sensor's downstairs.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a little gimpy. And then I wasn't even sure that you could go into the eShop from the Wii emulator, which you can. So that's a reminder to all the people out there. You can do this and play. The whole Virtual Console library is still up there. You just have to go through the emulator mode, which I don't love, but it's there if you want it. If you don't already have a regular Wii stashed away in a closet or hooked up somewhere. So, my answer to the question, if you haven't ever played it and you're not someone who's going to go seek out a cartridge for an original system, one of the better games on there is definitely Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Yeah, I figured that was going to go.
Yeah, I was spitting it out wrong there. Sorry about that. Zombies Ate My Neighbors is a great 2-player co-op game. If you want to play it on the eShop version, the Virtual Console version, you're going to need 2 classic Wii controllers, like the classic controller attachment. Because it's not a game you can play with a pointer or just like a regular control pad. You need a bunch of buttons and stuff for that game, if I remember correctly. And so that, in fact, the original cartridge is on my Christmas list for this year because I've never owned it. I played it on an emulator years ago and realized it was too much of a gem to throw away like that. So I stopped playing it. It was like, I need to get this someday. So it's kind of sitting there waiting for me. But you can download it. You can still go get it the easy way and be playing pretty quickly, assuming you had a classic controller or 2 laying around. And it's great for 2-player fun. It's a neat game with a lot of humor. It's got cartoony graphics. It's kind of like I call games like that like Gauntlet style. I don't know what other people say. It's kind of like a scrolling adventure, like from a top-down view where you're fighting, you're getting weapons, you have to open gates, and beat bosses. It's really fun. It's hilarious too. It's goofy. It's got a really fun sense of humor. So that's one of the good ones. It's the very last thing I think in the Virtual Console library since it starts with Z, so you won't have any trouble finding it. So
cool. Yeah, I've heard a lot about that game, especially on like Game Grumps, and people are loving that. So it looks pretty cool.
I'd say people out there that like games from the Super Nintendo should give it a look. I think it was on Genesis too back in the day, so there's a few different ways you could play it. You're going to go on the like classic route and play it on an original system. So
yeah, cool.
But this isn't a Genesis podcast.
Yeah, get out of here with your Genesis
so play it
crap.
on Super Nintendo.
I was gonna say another odd thing though too is Nintendo loses out on a few of its like Super Nintendo games. Like I said, how Star Wars is on PlayStation. Don't forget Battletoads is on Super Nintendo as well. Even though it's like the original NES version is the hardest, like that's the normal one, but it was on the Super Nintendo along with Battletoads and Double Dragon. Like people are never gonna get that because Xbox now has Battletoads and Rare. Because like there's a lot of games that are also gonna be missed out. So it might be better to have the Super Nintendo, but there's so many games though, in like so many genres. Like we didn't even touch like most of the RPGs on there, like Illusion of Gaia or
Secrets of
the Mana.
Yeah.
Like those are all like also fantastic games. But what made me laugh when you said you emulate the Wii on the Wii U, but then you play a classic game, so you're emulating a Wii emulating another system instead of just
you're emulating the SNES on the Wii U.
Yeah.
How many more layers can we go into it?
Yeah, I don't even like emulating to begin with.
But it'd be cool, like if they get more Sega Genesis games, like kind of classic like that, like they've been doing, like how Clay got to play Gunstar Heroes recently, like as they remade that. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's cool, you know. Like, I
Yeah,
hope maybe
that game
they'll
was awesome too. By the way, that game was sick. You were totally right. It's so much fun. So absolutely.
Dude, I wish like if we meet up, we should just play it local. That's how much that's how fun that game. Like it's fun solo. It's even better co-op. It's it's just explosion and mayhem everywhere. It's like that single player, just double it now. All right,
Yeah.
and you could double body slam bosses and stuff, and just like
Yeah.
they can't even move and shit. Like you'll do like dumb combos. Oh, and doing the dice level, it's like okay, it's about the roll. It's like no man, it's my turn. And you just take the dice and shit, and you throw it across, and you beat up your teammate. It's great. So you can get the next roll, then you get a shitty roll every time that happens, man. Oh,
all of those 3DS classic re-releases on 3DS are really, really worth everyone's money if you haven't played them, and especially if you're some kid out there listening who has never played Outrun or played Gunstar Heroes. There's a series of them now. The Afterburner. I mean, I think it's the best version of Afterburner ever, except if you're playing in the arcade in the rock and roll cabinet that like tilts and spins, when you sit inside it. That's better, obviously. But if you can't find one of those, because they're extremely rare, playing it on the 3DS is just amazing because you can actually get pretty far. And Afterburner is insanely hard, difficult game, unlike Gunstar Heroes, which is fun but not difficult. So yeah, those are really worth a look to anyone who hasn't played those because I love that series. I really hope they do more of them. I can't say enough good about it. I agree, Mike.
Cool.
I got you. Well, we'll see. But Matt, did you have any secret games that you were hiding or nah?
Yeah, sorry, I was looking at screenshots at Afterburner. I thought there was a new one. It says there's one on PlayStation Network and Xbox Live Arcade, Afterburner Climax. I'm not sure if that's any good or not, but there's something there at least. But yeah, so I was looking at what games were on the eShop because I'm like, okay, I don't want to just pick the normal games, and then I'm realizing, all the big names that everyone remembers is on there. There's Final Fantasy and Mario games and everything. But I did find a couple of cool gems. And the game I'm suggesting I haven't actually even played, but it looks pretty cool. It's Legend of the Mystical Ninja.
Starring Goemon?
Yeah, Goemon. Yeah, so it looks pretty cool. It's like part platformer, part beat 'em up. It's riddled with Japanese culture. It's basically in the heart of Japan. It looks really cool.
Yeah, they had an N64 one as well, which is a pretty rare cartridge to find.
Yeah.
And it's a full world. But, I didn't understand the game at all because I was playing it when I was like 7. But the Super Nintendo one, I was playing with a friend. That game is, that's no joke, that game.
Yeah, no, it looks really cool. It's 2-player as well, which I didn't even know. But yeah, no, it just looks really fun. I kind of wanted, what's that game? Something in Pocky. Rocky and Pocky as well, but they said they won't be able to release it on there for some reason, but they have like the sequel to it or something. So if you want, at least it's like Rocky and Pocky and some other chick or something is on the 3DS that's coming or is out. That's
okay,
cool.
This is an important question.
I wanted the SNES one because the graphics were so much better, but it's still cool that it's on there.
Matt, if you know this answer too, I forgot. Yeah, I totally found out the name of the game, but I forget. It's like a blue drop. Like, it looks like the slime from Dragon Quest, and he's gonna save his girlfriend. It's like a pink blob or drop. I think it's an NES there. Does anyone know the game? Like, I can't give any more detail because I've only seen a picture. It doesn't help at all.
What system is it on?
Either NES or SNES, one of the two.
And you're like a slime, but a pink slime?
No, you're like the Dragon Quest slime. You kind of look like it. You're blue, but you have like white hands and white shoes, and the girlfriend is a pink slime. I think it's a platformer. I'm not too sure. Like, I can't give any more info, but
you're not thinking of.
I could probably put the video, but
you're not thinking of Lolo, are you? The puzzle game.
Oh,
Lolo?
yeah, it might be.
Adventures
Lolo
of
and La La La.
Yeah, that might be it. Adventures of Lolo and I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah.
It's like a puzzle game. Like there's like 3 of them that are legendary for original Nintendo.
Oh, it is them. Yep, that is it.
There you go. Your question's answered.
But it's a puzzle game. I am so sad now. Like, I thought that was gonna be like a platformer because I have arms and feet. So I was like, oh, maybe this is like a pre-Kirby kind of thing. But
No, they're good puzzle games. They're really difficult. I have Lolo 1 and 2 for my regular Nintendo, and I've never finished them without cheating because they're just difficult. They get really hard and they're mind numbing. You sit and just stare at the screen. It's like moving block. It's like if Zelda was all block puzzles, kind of. That's what it's like. Only like different kinds of blocks, pushing them around the screen and stuff like that. They're tough.
all right, well, it says they're on the VC, but I guess. But I was gonna ask the one last question. I was gonna ask is let's see. There's something about virtual. Oh, is the other Kirby game from like either Game Boy or Super Nintendo on Virtual Console? Because like they released like a few Kirby, like they released the DS games, which are like no, the GBA games, which are like the best. That's not 64 or Return to Dreamland, but are the original like games of Kirby like on the VC? Because I don't hear anything about it.
Like the first one?
Yeah,
Kirby's
no,
Adventure?
like all of them, like like even like Dreamland like 2 and 3 with the animal friend, like Ricky the hamster and stuff.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of odd. Like, why wouldn't they release like like the older Kirby games? Like they're not difficult. Like like Kirby was made to not be like the most difficult game.
Yeah. Yeah, it was made to be easy on purpose. I don't know, I can't really
No.
see. But another weird game was Clue Clue Land, which is what I was thinking you might have been describing, but I'm clearly wrong. Where you have like poles in the center of a stage, and you have to like grab a pole and swing around it. And, like
The
go
only
through a maze or
Cuckoo Land
something
I know
weird.
is Cloud Cuckoo Land, son, from Banjo 2.
Yeah.
That's the only one I know.
But yeah, that's a weird game. It's also on the eShop. But I think that about wraps it up for that chat. There's a couple of weird things that happened this week. So Monster Hunter has been having crossovers with a bunch of other games like I think Mega Man and Mario games and whatnot. And now it's going to get Yu-Gi-Oh items. It's going to have like the Dark Magician armor, which is really weird. The thing I find funny about this is people are like, oh man, this is so dumb, like all these crossovers, it's stupid. But Yu-Gi-Oh is the one thing that actually makes sense because Yu-Gi-Oh has like these crazy giant monsters, and that would be like a perfect reason to have like, oh, here you can fight like the Blue Eyes White Dragon in Monster Hunter. Like that would be so awesome. Like it's the one time a weird crossover like that would like fit directly in the game.
Yeah, I don't know enough about Yu-Gi-Oh.
Me neither.
No,
I just know that they have like
love
weird
Yu-Gi-Oh.
monsters.
I guess it's a better fit. I don't know. It's Monster Hunter, so it's just like
Yeah.
meh. That game is. I think it's like it's cool for what it is, but totally not my thing. You know what I'm saying, girl?
Yeah, it'd just be kind of cool if they capitalized that and actually made like monsters from different games like that. They could have had the dragon from Mega Man. That was, I think, in Mega Man 2. It's like the green and yellow one.
Oh,
But,
that would be
like,
cool. Yeah,
that'd be
or
cooler
like
than
all
just
this
here's
stuff.
the cat Mega Man thing that does random garbage.
Did they do that with like Samus or Mario? It's just like here they have overalls.
Yeah, they could have had Ridley for crying out loud.
Yeah, you're right.
And like
That's
Bowser
a
or
game,
something like that would be so much better to have the monsters instead of the characters.
Hey, just circling back to your question about what Kirby games are in the eShop, I'm on Nintendo's website right now for Kirby and filtering it through the eShop. It seems like Kirby Star Stacker, which is like a puzzle game you could download for 3DS. It's like I've never even heard of that one. I think it's
I've never even heard of it. Like, I mean, I know Kirby, like, Tilt and Tumble. I had that from my Game Boy Color.
That would have been cool.
It's like original Game Boy. It looks like a match game, like maybe Tetris-y type game. Yeah. And then the only other one I'm seeing is Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland.
Oh, that's a great game. That's probably the best
too.
non-3D Kirby game.
So there you go.
Actually, no, it's too tough. I can't tell. But Amazing Mirror should also be on there. That's odd. Maybe hopefully they didn't remove it, but it would. No. Well, I mean, Amazing Mirror that came with the Ambassador program with the 3DS, and
it did.
They released it on the Wii U, which is kind of like the more I think about it, the Ambassador program they gave some great games for that. Like,
and they didn't sell them either, which is weird.
Yeah, they didn't. And you're like, they were like legitimately like, if you had the Ambassador program, you had some VC games that people were like,
no one could get.
Like, what?
Yeah, if you wanted to get some of them, you had to buy a whole nother system to get them on.
Yeah, you had to buy someone else who's selling their Ambassador 3DS. But I mean, Metroid Fusion, Minish Cap, and Amazing Mirror. Like those are three fantastic like games that are worth full price. Like
Yeah.
I
Agreed.
can't not recommend.
Yeah. So yeah, the one last thing that was interesting this week is they had some cut Splatoon content, and one of the things they had was urinals you could travel through. So you'd hop in the urinal and pop out some other side.
That was
With-
instead of jumping, right?
Hmm?
That was like in front instead of jumping.
Instead of
from-
squid jumping?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
That's what I thought.
I didn't hear that.
It could
That's real
be. It
hilarious.
might have been part of just the environment. Yeah, it was probably just to replace squid jumping, which would have been pretty funny.
Was this something that was data mined? I didn't hear about that. That's hilarious.
No, I think it was just in like an art book or something.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's just screenshots. But I think that about wraps it up for this week. So thanks to everyone for coming. You can find me at the Mango Viking on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And Eli, where can people find you?
You can find me on Nintendo Enthusiast for my reviews. I'm reviewing Super Mystery Dungeon really soon.
Mike, where can people find
And then
you?
you can find me on Twitter, Paul Salon.
Alright, guys, I'm Mike Worcester on Twitter and Twitch, and then Gaming Night Live, SMB Gaming 64 on YouTube. We got probably more bomb stuff, which pretty good, and then I'm gonna have to go some mainstream this week and probably do some Halo 5, some Call of Duty. You know, gotta get those 11-year-old views somehow.
All right.
I mean,
Unoclay, where
'cause I
can people
enjoy
find you? Oh gosh.
Well, if all the
You already
11-year-olds out
dated
there
yourself
listening want
with
to find
systems.
me on
Now you're
Uno,
just sounding a little odd.
on Unoclay 1.
Call of Duty, folks.
Hey, Mike's the one talking about getting 11-year-old views here. I'm just kind of trying to follow a theme here.
Man, internet and Minecraft and Five Nights at Freddy Fazbear's, son. That's it. That's right.
Yeah, I'm for anyone who has a credit card, I'm Unoclay1 on eBay, so you can check out my stuff over there. And I'm also Unoclay1 on IGN, so you can always drop me a line if you want to play some Smash or Splatoon or anything else,
So
really,
wherever
on the
you're listening,
Nintendo
you
platforms.
can find us at Just
So,
Another Castle
thanks for
on
having me,
Facebook,
man.
Twitter, YouTube, iTunes, Podomatic, and IGN. You can drop us a question to read on the podcast there, or at justanothercastle@gmail.com. And if you want to be a guest, you can leave a comment or message me on Twitter at the Mango Viking. So see you next time, and remember, leave gaming to Nintendo.